And I want to start with your take on what's happening with the labor market. Is there a lack of jobs to be offered, or are there a lack of workers to fill those jobs?
The problem is with hiring. We're not seeing hiring going as quickly as we would like. These numbers are disturbing on about three really important levels. One, we know that retail sales slipped last month, and the fact that retail employment also slipped is disturbing because it means that the brick and mortar stores are fearing the worst and are highly sensitive to that slippage. We have an unemployment insurance benefit cliff we're going to hit. That's going to take billions of dollars out of consumption each week. So I look for a very rocky road ahead in retail, given their sensitivity to those numbers. The disturbing pattern by which Black workers still aren't able to find jobs. We had the anomaly here where Black labor force participation increased and Black workers did succeed at finding more jobs, but more of those who didn't find jobs. So the Black unemployment rate went up from 8.2 to 8.8%. Conversely, the white labor force participation shrank. Whites were so successful, even though they seemed to stop looking at landing jobs, so the white unemployment rate went down in the opposite direction. And we had the unemployment rate for Blacks with associate degrees higher than the unemployment rate for white high school dropouts. So that tells me employers are still on some planet where they aren't desperate for workers. They are totally bypassing Black workers. And that tells me they're not serious. And then, of course, the concern with leisure and hospitality. The stall there, this is the sector that lost the most jobs. They were leading us with huge job gains, and that's why the numbers have been so big for so long. That stall looks like the stall we saw when the virus spiked last year in the winter. And so this is not good because that's where we need to still get more jobs back.
Can I add, I saw a chart from the NFIB, the National Federation for Independent Business, and it showed that we have an historically high amount of businesses surveyed with job openings. It's a two-panel chart. It also shows we have an historically high number of businesses willing to pay more to get workers through the door. Does this hiring climate really feel like that we have so many openings and that employers are willing to pay more and more?
Employers are showing that they are willing to pay more. We see wages are going up. Now, part of that is because a large number of states are already on their path towards $15 an hour, and low-wage workers are getting boosts from that, just that alone. But no, I don't think you can take the job vacancies as serious. The employers, when we have these surges in the economy, advertise ahead of serious hiring. So you see the job posted, but you don't know how serious they are in terms of looking. Many of those are part-time positions. If you're on unemployment, you're supposed to be looking for a full-time job, and that's another disconnect. And those who are expanding, the high-wage industries actually did better this month at hiring, and a lot of workers are recalibrating themselves. They're aimed at those higher wage jobs, and so they're bypassing the lower wage firms that aren't hiring at the same rate.
William, that sounds like a problem at the heart of what the Fed's been talking about making sure that the economic recovery was more equitable, that the rising tide lifted all boats. You said you're concerned with Black unemployment being persistent. You're concerned that if you are seeing gains, it's in higher paying jobs. Does the Fed have the tools to bring about an equitable recovery in the labor market?
Yes, by having patience. What we're seeing from the Fed is a realization that we're still down millions of jobs from the previous peak. And the Fed is being patient to let the labor market work its way out. Eventually, employers will be serious that they really are looking for any worker, and they'll start hiring Black workers. They'll stop bypassing them, as they clearly are in these numbers. That will only happen if you're patient. Unfortunately, our fiscal policy is not showing that same patience. The withdrawal of unemployment insurance right now is going to be a catastrophe. We have the median unemployment length for Blacks at 22 weeks. Over half the Black workforce has been unemployed over 22 weeks. This is also pretty much close for Asian Americans, and for Latinos, it's about 18 weeks. So the end of the extended unemployment benefits for those who are long-term unemployed, the end of unemployment benefits for those who weren't eligible before, those who got the pandemic unemployment assistance because they tended to be low-wage workers and work part-time. Those workers are losing assistance as well. All of that disappearing is way too soon. We see the Fed being patient with the labor market. Unfortunately, our fiscal policy is not being as patient as it needs to be.